Today I'll be giving a short tutorial followed by a parody video on how to use homonyms, homographs, and homophones. I will be showing examples, tricks, and quick definitions. I'll be showing the differences between homonyms, homographs, and homophones since they are very important to distinguish which are which from each other. I'll be giving basic definitions for each title before I go more in depth in the parody video afterwards. To start off with homophones, they are groups of words that are spelled differently, that are pronounced the same, but have different meanings. An example of this would be flour and flower, one of which being a cooking ingredient, the other of which being a flower, a plant. Another example would be air and air. So air being the particles in which we breathe, oxygen, but also heir being the inheritance of money or the legal entitlement of somebody to something. An example of one of the heirs used in a sentence is the heir of Slytherin, which is a title used in Harry Potter, the Chamber of Secrets. An example, if you're talking about it from the word in an inheritance standpoint, would be Bill was the heir to the standard royal name, which is an example from Taylor Swift's The Last Great American Dynasty, which is a true story based off of a couple who inherited a lot of money because of their family name. The second would be homographs, which are often described as being the opposite of a homophone, whereas they are spelled the same but are pronounced differently and, of course, have different meanings. A super simple example would be the words bass and bass. They are written the same but are pronounced differently and they both have different meanings. Bass is the musical instrument, a guitar, and bass is a fish. And lastly, homonyms are words that are spelt the same, pronounced the same, but have different meanings and origins. An example for this one would be bats, which is an example I also use in the parody. Bat being a spooky animal that flies, and a bat being like a baseball bat, which is a sporting material. A few really useful tips on how to remember each one from each other are directly in the name itself. If you look at the word phone, in Greek the word is derived from sounding the same. The word graph, the word is derived from written the same, and nym, we will find that it is derived from the Greek word of having the same name. Therefore, they are written the same and pronounced the same. Throughout the video, I've mentioned homonyms, homographs, and homophones, and even given a few examples in my sentences that I've hidden. So if you've caught those, you're already on the right track to remembering which ones are which. I'm not a singer, but I did transform the song Monster Mash into a quick tutorial on how to easily remember homonyms, homographs, and homophones so that it really gets stuck in your brain. I tried as much as possible to make the chorus very catchy and repetitive so that it would really be stuck in your brain, the three different types, and I hope you enjoy.
Working for class late one night when you came across a peculiar sight, for the words weren't making sense to your demise. Look no further, follow my advice. A homonym, there are two different types, the homophones followed by homographs. They are often confused for one another. Take these tips and you'll become a master. Some might wonder why these principles are key, and the simple answer is super easy. They help to get the proper message across, they keep precision and avoid confusion. A homonym, there are two different types, the homophones followed by homographs. They are often confused for one another. Take these tips and you'll become a master. Homophones are one or more words differently spelled. They're all pronounced the same and have different meanings. Common examples that we use almost every day consist of are, here, and hey. There are many more, but we're short on time. But can you guess which is a favorite of mine? Homonym. There are two different types, the homophones followed by homographs. They are often confused for one another. Take these tips and you'll become a master. The homographs are the opposite. They're spelled the same but don't sound alike. Most importantly, the meanings differ. An example of this is, why are there so many bats? In some ways, the homonyms are both of them combined. They have the same spelling and they're pronounced the same, but as before, The meanings always differ. Now that you all know how homophones are used, the next time you write, you won't need to review, for your spelling will be perfect on the first look through. From now on, this will save you so much time. A homonym? There are two different types, the homophones, followed by homographs. They are often confused for one another. Take these tips, and you'll become a master.